Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Coach Vogelai's Corner. I'm David Stearns. Joined with me on the phone is Coach Aaron Vogelai. Coach, how was your Christmas and New Year's?
Oh, it was great. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. It seems like it's been forever since the last time we talked, but we got a lot to catch up on here. We had a couple of games we're going to recap prior to the new year, and then we're going to talk about the second half coming up with a couple of games against Delaware. So let's backtrack a little bit here and talk about the crucial game against Rowan University back in your barn again, and it was a favorable win in your favor, of course, 5-2. Talk about that one for us.
Well, I think as the coach, it was always a concern of ours that we had already beaten a team pretty badly. I mean, it was only a 4-1 win, but I think there was really no no controversy over who controlled most of the first game when we played Rowan. So we wanted to make sure that our boys really kind of stayed on top of their game. It was very easy to have a letdown. But they had it in their sights that Rowan was still the number two ranked team in the region, and we needed to go after them, and that's exactly what we did. Absolutely took it to them. We had obviously the return of John Drago was in there, and Johnny played great, and he had to because Rowan came out, didn't want to lose to us again. Johnny's team and the Rowan Profits, hit my hat to them. They played and they outplayed us for a lot of the game. Quite frankly, they really did a great job, and we just buried our opportunities. Even though they outplayed and controlled most of the second period, we still ended up popping two goals late in the period to take a 4-0 lead over them, and we were off and running. I think we ended up winning the game 5-2, another hard fought game, and I'm just very very pleased and very happy with the victory that we got.
Now let's talk about the game to follow. A 1-0 kind of odd score against the St. Joe's team on the other side there. Talk a little bit about that one. It's kind of an unusual score, but what happened in that game?
I think we ran into a really hot goaltender. I think we took the team lightly, and that's not to discourage or to basically ever put anybody down because I think St. Joe's played a great game, obviously against us. But we put vastly almost 65 shots on net, and Kyle Van Alsten, he's a great goaltender, and when he's on, and he was on that Sunday night. And he made 64 saves, and the goal that he gave up was a deflection in front. He didn't stand a chance. So, but if he saw it and was able to get to it, he did. And then we ran into penalty trouble late in the period. And at times during games, you're going to run into these situations where you don't pop a goal early, you don't score one, things just aren't working the way that you want them to, and the frustration starts to build, and all of a sudden you got guys that are squeezing their sticks a little bit too tough and too strong, and they start shooting high or wide, or they're putting it right in the goalie's belly, and that added pressure just makes things worse instead of just relaxing and just trying to stay what you do, just trying to just do what we do best. And and usually things can happen in the right way when that happens, but they didn't that day. So he made 64 great saves, and we got lucky to hold on to a 1-0 lead, having to kill penalties for the last 8 minutes of the game.
Now the ranking period, they're ending just a week after those two contests. You guys moved up a little bit here, and you guys are sitting pretty in the number three spot, and you got some crucial games down here in the final stretch with the two ranking periods remaining. So obviously Miami at number one, Penn State at number two, and then of course you guys at number three with Bowling Green and Rowan right behind in the 4 and 5 spots. Talk about how much this number three means to you guys, and I mean a bit of a bumpy start there at the beginning, but it seems like you guys are getting some traction here.
It is. I mean, we kind of sat the guys down, and we kind of went over what they wanted out of this, and we kind of just got refocused on our goals, and we're going to do the same thing here for January and kind of get moving forward. Um, I think that's good to kind of keep their focus and things like that. We did have a rough start, but you also remember we played some of the best teams in the country. People are calling for a Grand Valley and Miami championship game, and I thought we didn't play extremely well up against Miami. I think we got a little intimidated. Didn't expect a big physical team like that. We will next time we play them if we have to. And my guys would love another chance to play Grand Valley. I mean, we just ran out of time, so I think we can start that motor a little bit sooner in that game. We're going to end up tying or winning that hockey game. So, I mean, they're a great hockey team, but I think we can pull out a victory if need be up against them. So, I mean, those are two top teams. Those are two losses. We had a down game up against Southern Illinois, another great hockey team out of the Central. So we played a pretty tough schedule, and I think we learned a lot. Even though we lost some games, I think we learned a lot.
Well, with this coming weekend, we should remind fans that the game against Millersville was canceled, and in place of that, it'll be Delaware. So we're going to have that makeup game a little bit earlier than initially thought. We thought we were going to have that one in the first week of February, but it is in fact going to take place this Sunday, January 13th. So Delaware, let's talk a little bit about them for a minute. Of course, sitting with a 12-7-0 overall record right now with one overtime loss. But in Matcha South play, they're sitting there with a 3-2-0-1 record. They're sitting at 5. You guys are sitting at 2. And they could very easily bump ahead of you guys here with a couple of wins on their favor. But what are you guys going to do to stop them up here and kind of keep them down? I mean, right now they are ranked number 12 in the Southeast, if I remember correctly. So kind of an important contest for them, not just you guys.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, both teams are going to want to establish themselves right out of the gate in the second semester. This is where postseason pushes really start. They've got a game Friday night to kind of wear off some of that rust up against Monmouth. Our first game will actually be their second game, so we can't take them lightly. We've had a really hard week of practice, and the guys look great. So, they're flying around the rink, they're moving the puck well. Special teams look great. So we're very optimistic coming into this, but we can't look down on Delaware by any means. We need to take advantage of their weaknesses and limit their strengths, and that's what we plan to do.
Now, let's talk here about your roster. Is everybody healthy? Everybody eligible? Any surprises we should be, finding out about here before this coming weekend?
Well, how about the only surprise, I think, in the 4 years that you and I have done this, everybody that was on my roster in December is on my roster in January.
Oh, fantastic! Well, let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about your depth here. I'm looking through the stats. With the other teams that you guys are competing directly with here, especially in the rankings. You guys are holding your own with 80 goals for, but then there are a lot of teams up ahead of you that are putting up a few more numbers than you guys are. Do you think that something needs to be reworked here? I mean, you guys are looking solid in the goals against column. I mean, with only 55 against overall, but do you think you need a little more production out of your guys? I mean, you guys absolutely exploded against East Carolina, and then of course that 1-0 score against St. Joe's. It kind of looks like a blip on the radar, but you guys still got a favorable ranking at number 3. Do you need a little more production out of your guys, or are you content with the way and the progress in which you guys have grown throughout this season?
I think we're doing pretty well. Let's not forget we've got 15 freshmen on our roster. And we're starting to get some production, and we've gotten some great production out of Matthew Bloom, Zach Tracy, DJ Fowler, freshmen that are really starting to step up with this. Our defensemen are starting. Ben Rafford, he's having a career year. I mean, he's got more points this year than he has his freshman and sophomore years combined. So he's doing a great job. He's one of the top on the team with 16 assists. So, I think we're growing at the right pace. We don't have to put up 8, 9, 10 goals a game. We prove that we can do that if need be, or if we catch a team on an off night. But with Trevor Miller and John Drago and Ned and Yost and some of the other guys, and Rafferty and Devlin and some of the guys playing defense, and we only need 3 or 4 goals a game because Johnny and Trevor are only going to give up 1 or 2 a night. So I think we'll do just fine. We just need to make sure that the production stays consistent. That's the area of concern, but we're taking measures to make sure it does.
Now, looking ahead at the final games left in your schedule, you got 2 against Temple, home and home, and then Liberty and Virginia Tech to round things out for January. But how important is it for you guys to establish yourselves this weekend in the new year moving forward? I mean, you'll have a tough finish against Penn State, and then, of course, you got the crab pot. But talk about these last two ranking periods and where you think your team will go, starting with this coming weekend.
I think we need this weekend. We need to, like I said, we need to establish ourselves to kind of get the momentum going. We need the points for the playoffs. And this is a Mid Atlantic South matchup, and we need these 4 points badly to start trying to catch Liberty. We need every game just to take first place to be, have that top seed. Otherwise, we're going to be, starting from a position that we're not used to, and that's sitting from the number 2 seed or 3 seed in the tournament. So Liberty's got themselves a very good team this year, and I think they're going to be really tough to beat down in Liberty. But we gotta have to do our best down there. But I mean, like I said, we need to establish ourselves up against Delaware this weekend, and then obviously next weekend's games have been circled on our calendar for quite some time. So. For obvious reasons with myself, history, and Jeff Pallison, my assistant coach's history, and we definitely wanted the kids to know that this is a big one. We haven't swept Temple since my first year down here when we did. Every other year it's been a split. So now it's all jam packed into one weekend. It's going to be their first games back for the semester. We're going to have 2 games in a couple of weeks worth of practice in us. So, I would say that we have the advantage on that one, but those games are always close, so you just never know. And then you've got the big week, the big travel weekend where we go down to Liberty and Virginia Tech. It might be one of the hardest weekends in the ACHA. Last year we were lucky enough to come out with a sweep. I think we're going to have to try to do the same this year too if we want to keep this momentum rolling. So we've got a very hard and very difficult ranking period, but Penn State's got a very similar one to us. So it's going to be tough and it's going to be fun. Just can't wait to see it started.
All right. Well, I'll talk a little bit more in the next podcast, obviously, about whether or not you guys are capable of leapfrogging Penn State. It's going to be fun to watch you guys and Penn State kind of bear down and try to really race towards the finish here as solid as you can at the end of this season. But all right, last and final question. With Nick Lidstrom and the addition of Jonas Gustafsson, can the Detroit Red Wings make the playoffs with a 48-game schedule coming up here with the lockout concluding?
Absolutely. They better.
Oh, man. Well, welcome back, NHL hockey, huh?
Oh, that's exciting. Welcome. We got the news that the NHL was coming back as we were getting ready to hit the ice for our first practice, so that was a very good day.
Yeah, well, it's a good day for all hockey fans because we almost were staring down the barrel of a gun of losing an entire season, but well, we'll see what happens here with like an abbreviated season. Who knows? Maybe the Rangers will come up and actually win one because it seems like they can only win one when they have an abbreviated season. So,
Oh.
I had to throw that one out there eventually.
Absolutely, and I hear you. I mean, they probably have a better shot than your Buffalo Sabres.
Oh, well, one of the longest droughts in history, so, yeah. Well, any final thoughts, Coach?
I'm just kind of glad to be back. I know the guys are, so we're just looking forward to kind of getting this thing started and making our second half run.
All right. Well, good luck this weekend against Delaware. We're going to have those broadcasts, both of them, up in Delaware and in Reisterstown, Saturday night, 8:05 face-off, and Sunday afternoon at 5:15. Check it out at crossicefeed.com for the live feed. So, for Coach Voegtli, this is David Stern saying, have a good night, everybody, and as always, don't stop believing.
Take care.